All right, so your check engine light is on. You pull the codes and you see this monster, U0073. It looks pretty serious, and honestly, it can be a little intimidating. But don't worry, today we're going to pull back the curtain on this code, figure out what it really means, and what you can actually do about it.
Yeah, control module communication bus A off. What does that even mean, right? Your dashboard might be lit up like a Christmas tree, or hey, maybe your car won't even start. But just take a breath. This is a solvable mystery, and we're going to break it all down together, step by step.
So, first things first, what is all this technical sounding stuff trying to tell you about your car? Let's get a nice, clear, simple definition.
Okay, to put it super simply, this code means your car's computers have stopped talking to each other. They're giving each other the silent treatment. And that key term right there, the CAN bus, that's the network they use to communicate. When that network goes down, you get all sorts of weird problems, from warning lights to a car that just won't turn over. It's definitely a code you want to get on top of right away.
So, to figure out why they stopped talking, we kind of have to understand the network they're supposed to be using in the first place. Let's build a mental picture of what's really happening inside your car.
This is probably the best way to wrap your head around it. The CAN bus is like your car's digital highway, or even better, its brain and spinal cord all rolled into one. It connects all the different electronic brains, we call them modules, and lets them share info constantly, so everything works together smoothly, from your engine all the way to your radio.
And look at what's on this network. We're talking about the big ones: the engine control module, the brain of your engine, the transmission control module, your anti-lock brakes, the body control module that handles things like your lights and windows. All these critical systems have to be in constant contact. So if one goes silent or the whole network goes down, boom, you get that U0073 code. Okay, so we get the system now. Let's put on our detective hats. Where do these communication breakdowns usually happen? It's time to look at the most common culprits. You can really group the causes into three main buckets. First, you've got power issues. Sometimes it's as simple as a weak battery or a blown fuse. Next up, and this is the big one, the most frequent culprit, wiring issues. We're talking corrosion, loose connectors, or a wire that's been damaged. And finally, you could have a bad computer module itself, or maybe a poorly installed aftermarket alarm is messing with things. Pro tip, always check the power issues first. They're the easiest to roll out and could save you a massive headache. And this is such a great point from the source material. A wiring problem sounds so complex, right? But sometimes the fix is ridiculously simple. Like the quote says, a connector might have just vibrated loose over time, and all you have to do is push it back in. It's not always a worst-case scenario. All right, enough theory. Let's get practical. Here's a clear, step-by-step checklist you can actually follow to start diagnosing this issue yourself. And we're going to start with the simplest, highest impact stuff first. Okay, number one, check your power. Grab a voltmeter. With the car off, is your battery reading at least 12.4 volts? With the engine running, is your alternator putting out somewhere between 13.8 and 14.5 volts? After that, check all the fuses related to your car's computers. Second, give the wiring a really good visual inspection. Third, got any aftermarket stereos or alarms? Try unplugging them and see if the problem disappears. Honestly, those first three steps solve a surprising number of these cases. And here's another pro tip for when you're doing that visual inspection. Two of the most common spots for wiring to get damaged are right around the battery tray, where battery acid can cause some nasty corrosion, and under those plastic door sills. Wires there can get wet from your shoes or just rub through over time. So get a flashlight and look really closely in those areas. Now, if you end up taking your car to a mechanic, they're probably going to do something called a resistance test, and this is the magic number they're looking for, 60 ohms. Basically, it tells them the network is complete and healthy. If they see 120 ohms, it means there's a break somewhere in the network. And if they see 0, that points to a short circuit. It's a key piece of the puzzle for professional. So with all that in mind, how do you decide when to keep digging and when it's time to just call a professional? Let's draw a clear line in the sand between what you can tackle yourself and what's best left to the experts. So look, everything on the left, that's you. You can absolutely handle checking battery voltage, inspecting fuses, looking for obvious wiring damage, and making sure all the connectors are snug. The stuff on the right, though, that's pro territory. That requires specialized scan tools to do those resistance tests, to see which specific modules are offline, and to trace a really tricky wiring short. And this is the most crucial takeaway here. Even if you don't find the problem yourself, you've still done incredibly valuable work. Walking into a repair shop and saying, hey, I've already confirmed the battery is good and all the fuses are intact, helps the mechanic narrow down the search immediately. That can save you a ton of cash and diagnostic fees. It's about managing the repair intelligently.
And this whole thing kind of leads us to a final, bigger thought. This U0073 code is a perfect example of how our cars are basically complex, rolling computer networks now. As this trend just keeps accelerating, what does that mean for us, the owners? Is everyone going to need to be a part-time tech expert just to own a car? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for watching.